The forest didn't look threatening when they first drove in. The afternoon light streamed through tall pines, warm and golden, the air filled with the hum of cicadas. It was supposed to be a weekend escape. No phones, no work, no noise, just 3 friends and nature. Tyler was the one who found the spot, an online hiking forum that mentioned a hidden trail called Haven Creek, somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. The photos looked stunning. Untouched, remote, and eerily quiet. "This is it," Tyler said proudly, as he turned off the dirt road and parked the truck beside a weathered wooden sign, half swallowed by moss. The letters carved into it read, "Haven Creek Trail." The forest loomed behind it like a black-green wall. Maya stepped out first, pulling her backpack onto her shoulder. The air smelled wet, earthy, rich with pine and decay. She looked around uneasy. "You said people hike here." "Sometimes," Tyler said, grabbing his gear. "The last post was from, 2 years ago, but the trail should still be good." Ethan slammed the passenger door, grinning. 2 years. Man, that's perfect. No crowds, no noise, just us and the wilderness. Maya gave him a look. "That's exactly what worries me." Tyler laughed. "You're paranoid. Come on, we'll set up by the creek before dark." They started walking. The trail was narrow, winding through trees that seemed older than time itself. The deeper they went, the quieter everything became. Even their voices seemed to fade into the bark. The forest floor was thick with moss, the air heavy and still. After about an hour, Maya stopped. "Do you guys hear that?" Ethan turned. "Hear what?" She tilted her head. "Exactly, nothing. No birds, no bugs, no wind. Just nothing." Tyler shrugged. "Guess the animals moved on." But deep down, he noticed it too. The silence felt unnatural, like the forest was holding its breath. They pushed on until they reached a small clearing, just as the sun dipped low. It was perfect. Soft ground, trees forming a loose ring around them, and a trickle of water nearby. They pitched the tent, collected wood, and got a fire going. By nightfall, the flames crackled bright and orange, painting their faces with shifting shadows. The silence pressed closer now, thick and oppressive, broken only by the pop of burning wood. Tyler poked the fire with a stick. "Told you it's worth the drive. Look around, no city lights, no people." Ethan raised his beer. "To peace and quiet." Maya forced a small smile. "Yeah, quiet." A sound flickered behind them, soft, like a sigh. Tyler turned quickly. Nothing, just trees. But for a split second, he could have sworn he had heard someone breathing close behind him. He stared into the dark. The forest seemed deeper now, shadows shifting between trunks. "Did you guys hear that?" he asked quietly. "Hear what?" Ethan said, half laughing. Tyler hesitated. "Never mind." The night stretched long and uneasy. They told stories, laughed too loudly, trying to fill the silence that kept pushing back. When they finally crawled into the tent, the fire outside burned low, crackling faintly. Sometime after midnight, Ethan woke up. Something had pulled him from sleep. A sound, soft, steady, footsteps, slow, deliberate, moving in a circle around the tent. He held his breath. The sound stopped, then came again. "Crunch, crunch," he whispered. "Tyler," no response. Ethan unzipped the tent just a few inches. The cold air hit his face, thick with mist. Nothing moved. The forest looked dead, every tree frozen in place. He zipped it back up, heart pounding. Maybe it was an animal, maybe. When morning came, the fog was so thick they could barely see 10 feet ahead. The air felt colder, heavier. Tyler stirred the ashes of the fire. "We'll pack up early, find the creek and follow it back. Or we just go home," Maya said. Tyler forced a grin. "You serious? We're fine. Let's explore a bit first." They started walking east, or what they thought was east. The fog swallowed everything, turning the forest into an endless maze. An hour later, they came to a clearing. Tyler looked around confused. It was their campsite. Ethan frowned. "Wait, didn't we leave this spot?" "We did," Maya said. "We walked in a straight line." Tyler pulled out his compass. The needle spun weakly before settling, then twitched again, jerking side to side. "This thing's busted." They marked a tree with Ethan's pocket knife and started walking in the opposite direction. 2 hours later, they found the same tree, the same mark. Maya's voice cracked. "We're going in circles." "That's impossible," Tyler said. We haven't turned once." But her breathing quickened, panic rising in her eyes. "Tyler, look around. Does this place even look the same? The trees? They're different." And she was right. The forest looked unfamiliar, rearranged somehow. Trees that had been upright now leaned at odd angles, their bark darker, wetter. The air smelled wrong, metallic, like blood. Then, somewhere in the fog, a voice called out, "Maya!" She froze. Her heart stopped. That's my mom's voice." Ethan shook his head. "No way! You're hearing things." But it came again, faint, close now. "Maya, honey, I found the way out. Come this way." It was perfect. The tone, the rhythm, the warmth. Every word sounded exactly like her mother. "Mom," she whispered. "Maya, don't," Tyler warned. She stepped forward anyway, eyes wide, her face softening. "Do you guys hear her?" Neither of them answered. The fog seemed to pulse, thicker around her feet. Then came laughter. High, bright, childish. Not her mother's voice. Not even human. Maya stumbled back, shaking her head. "What was that?" "Let's go," Tyler said, grabbing her hand. "We're heading back to the truck." But as they turned, the forest behind them had changed again. The path they came from was gone, swallowed by trees that seemed closer now, crowding in, roots, like fingers reaching from the soil. The silence returned, heavier than before. Tyler looked around, trying to find anything familiar. The sign, the ridge, even a patch of sky. But the fog erased everything, like the world had shrunk to a few yards of dirt and shadow. Somewhere deep in the forest, something moved. The sound was faint, wet, dragging, like something pulling itself through the mud. Ethan whispered, "You guys saw that, right?" No one answered. They stood still, straining to listen. The sound faded, then started again, closer this time. Maya took a step back, voice trembling. "Tyler, please, let's just run." And for the first time, Tyler didn't argue. They ran. Branches whipped their faces, roots caught their ankles, but they didn't stop until they collapsed in another clearing, gasping. When they looked around, their blood turned cold. It was the same clearing, the same circle of trees, the same blackened fire pit. Maya dropped to her knees, sobbing. Tyler turned in slow circles, eyes wide, breath uneven. That's not possible. The forest didn't answer. Somewhere behind them, in the fog, the laughter came again. Distant at first, then closer, echoing between the trees until it felt like it was inside their heads. Ethan whispered, "We're not alone out here." The wind stirred for the first time since they'd arrived, carrying the faint smell of smoke. And underneath it, something else, something rotten. The fire pit in front of them gave a quiet crack, though there were no coals left to burn. Tyler stared at it, frozen, as a single ember glowed red from the ash, and then went out. The forest exhaled, and everything went still. They found Maya sitting beside the creek the next morning. She was barefoot, her clothes damp, staring blankly at the water as if she'd been there all night. The fog hung low around her like a curtain. Tyler knelt beside her. "Maya, what the hell happened? We've been looking for you for hours." She blinked slowly, her lips dry and pale. "You didn't answer when I called you." Ethan crouched down. "Called us? You disappeared. We've been shouting your name since dawn. She turned her head toward him, eyes hollow. "No, I heard you. You kept saying my name. But when I got closer, you weren't you." Tyler exchanged a glance with Ethan. "We need to get the hell out of here, now." Maya didn't argue. She stood on shaky legs, her skin cold to the touch. The forest felt different, quieter, heavier, as though it were watching. Every path they took seemed to bend, looping back toward the creek again. By mid-afternoon, the fog had thickened until it felt like breathing through cloth. The sun had vanished completely, though Tyler's watch said it was barely 3 o'clock. The trees were darker now, blacker bark, slick with moisture. The ground smelled metallic, like rust and old rain. Ethan tried the emergency radio again, twisting the dial through static. Come on. Anyone out there? Only white noise. Then, buried beneath the static, a faint whisper. It was a voice. His own voice. Ethan froze. The radio hissed again, and then the voice repeated softly, perfectly mimicking his tone. "Don't move." He dropped the radio like it burned him. Jesus Christ! Tyler snapped his head around. "What?" It was me, on the radio. My voice. Tyler stared at him, trying to find some rational explanation. "It's feedback, interference, something." But even as he said it, the forest answered. A soft echo rolled through the trees. Faint but distinct. It sounded like Maya laughing, except she wasn't laughing. They kept moving until the fog thinned enough to reveal a shape in the distance. A tent, a campsite. Relief washed over them for half a second, until they realized it wasn't someone else's camp. It was theirs. Same tent, same torn backpack near the fire pit, same cooking pot still lying on its side. Ethan whispered, "This can't be real. We didn't come back here." Tyler walked slowly toward the tent, the hairs on his arms rising. Inside, everything looked exactly as they'd left it, except for one thing. There was a notebook sitting on Maya's sleeping bag. Tyler picked it up. It was damp, pages warped, the writing smudged. But the last few lines were still legible. Day 3. "We can't find the trail. The forest keeps changing. Something walks outside at night. It looks like us." Tyler's hand shook. "Who wrote this?" Ethan took a step back. That's your handwriting." Tyler flipped the page. His own name scratched across the bottom in jagged ink. His throat went dry. "No, that's not possible." The air around them felt charged, electric, humming like a power line. Maya's breath came out in short, panicked bursts. "We're not alone here." A faint crunch echoed from behind the trees. Then another, steady, slow. Tyler turned toward the sound, eyes scanning the fog. At first, it looked like a trick of the light, shadows moving between trunks. But then, one of the shadows stepped forward. It was a man. No, not a man. It was Tyler. The same face, same jacket, same terrified expression mirrored back at him, like a reflection come to life. Tyler's double tilted its head slightly, studying him. Then, in a voice that matched his perfectly, it whispered, "You shouldn't have stayed." Maya screamed. Ethan grabbed her arm, pulling her backward. The thing that looked like Tyler stepped closer, the ground beneath its feet barely making a sound. Its movements were wrong, too smooth, too slow, as if gravity didn't apply. "Run!" Tyler shouted. They ran blindly through the trees, the fog twisting around them like smoke. Every branch that snapped behind them sounded too close. The forest seemed endless, shifting and turning, never letting them go. Maya tripped on a root, falling hard. Ethan pulled her up, his hands shaking. "Keep going!" When they finally stopped, gasping, they were surrounded by more of them. Faint shapes in the mist, outlines of people standing between the trees. Some were still, some moved. Each one looked almost human. Almost. Tyler swung his flashlight wildly, the beam slicing through fog. The figures vanished whenever the light hit them, only to reappear seconds later in new places. Closer. Ethan shouted into the darkness. "What do you want from us?" No reply, just breathing. Dozens of ragged, shallow breaths. The fog pressed in like a living thing. Tyler's voice broke. "We have to keep moving. If we stop, it'll find us again." They stumbled deeper into the forest, every direction feeling wrong. The night dragged on without a moon, without stars. The cold bit into their skin, and the forest smelled of smoke again. Faint at first, then stronger. They saw light ahead. A fire. Relief surged for a fleeting moment, until they saw who sat around it. 3 figures, sitting perfectly still in a circle. Tyler stepped closer, his heart pounding. The firelight flickered over their faces, and he froze. They were looking at themselves. 3 perfect copies. Unmoving, eyes open, faces blank. Their skin was pale, stretched tight over bone. The Tyler copy lifted its head. "You made it," it said softly, smiling without emotion. Ethan stumbled backward, his voice cracking. No, this isn't real." The Maya copy turned toward him. The same voice, same tone. "You shouldn't have run. We told you to stay by the fire." The real Maya screamed. The sound tore through the silence, echoing across the trees. And then the world seemed to collapse around them. The fire roared to life, throwing embers high into the fog. Shadows twisted on the trunks like writhing bodies. Tyler grabbed Ethan and Maya. "Move!" They sprinted into the dark, branches clawing at their clothes. The forest felt alive, closing in, the air vibrating with whispers. Tyler's legs burned, lungs on fire, but he didn't dare stop. The whispers grew louder. Not words, just voices overlapping, hundreds of them, all repeating the same sound, "Stay." Ethan turned his head once, just once, and saw one of the figures running beside him, keeping pace, face identical to his own, smiling in the dark. He didn't scream. There was no time. Then, suddenly there was nothing. No sound, no fog, no light, just the forest, silent and still. Days later, park rangers found the truck at the trailhead. The doors were open, keys in the ignition, no sign of struggle, no tracks leading in or out. The forest floor looked undisturbed, like no one had been there for years. They organized a search party. Dozens of volunteers combed the woods for a week. No bodies, no campsite, not even a footprint. A month later, a hunter reported seeing a campfire deep in the forest. He claimed he saw 3 people sitting around it, motionless. When he called out to them, one turned its head toward him. He ran. When rangers followed his directions, they found nothing but ashes and 3 sets of footprints that ended abruptly in the middle of the clearing. Locals still talk about Haven Creek. Some say on foggy nights you can see a faint orange glow between the trees. Others swear they've heard laughter drifting from the woods. Voices calling their names, familiar and wrong. But the people who've gone looking never find anything. They say the forest keeps what it wants. It remembers the ones who stay too long. And if you ever see a fire burning in the fog, don't go near it, because whoever's sitting by that fire isn't waiting to be rescued. They're waiting for you.
Please like and subscribe channel Fear Frequency for more horror stories. Thank you.